Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer Israel with my brand new oversized banner behind me. Steve Strazza in his brand new office. It's a morning of new things here on the morning show. JC is out today. He'll be back tomorrow, which means, you know what that means, everyone. When JC is not here, this is not the morning show. This is... drum roll, the Strazza show. That's right. Let's go. We got Strazza in the house. We got Alfonso in the house. We got Michael Batnick from Ritholtz Wealth Management coming on the show, I guess, about a half hour from now. That'll be fun. Kenny Glick will stop by. Kenny's doing an open house today. So what we're going to do is we're going to end the show a little early. We'll end the show at like 9:20, 9:25-ish. And then Kenny's open house will start at 9:30 promptly. If you do not know how to get into Kenny's room for free this week, don't worry. Links will be posted, emails will be sent, and we will get you all into Kenny's room. He's going live for free Monday through Thursday of this week, right after this show ends. So, without further ado, let's get Steve out here. Here we go, chat. We ready? Let's get it.
Hello.
Oh, this is so fun.
You like it?
Let's talk about Steve's new setup, everybody.
I didn't do the thing with the cord yet. And you know what you find when you buy a big bookshelf? You find how few books you actually have.
Yes,
it feels like a lot.
I too had this problem once.
Now, the truth is I have a half garage full of them at the parents' house. I got to do a run. It's been a while since I've done an East Coast run, Spencer.
Yeah.
24 hours, probably more like 21 now, but I really didn't improve my situation all that much in terms of driving up to Connecticut.
All right. Well, I'm enjoying the TV. I'm not sure a third person on this show would enjoy it all that much, but
that's Eric Adams.
I see that. I'm enjoying the bookshelf. It's very vintage. The rich mahogany. I like it. And more work to be done. But
yeah, we're getting there.
We're
so close. We're so close. Hopefully my camera holds up. If it doesn't, like I said, I'll hop right back on. But we're working through the IT kinks. Really working through them.
Okay. Well, let's get this show on the road here. Do some state of the market. So we have Kenny, we have Michael. We got things to talk about. So let's talk about them, shall we?
Yeah, please.
All right. So we should probably start with the fact that we ended the week at all-time highs, right?
Yeah.
That's where things stand. We're not there quite at the moment. This morning we're down just a little teensy bit in the futures. Every major and I mean Dow futures are pretty flat, but S&P, NASDAQ, Russell all slightly in the red. Gold down, crypto down, oil up. That's kind of where things stand. Dollar up this morning. But we ended the week of before July, week of July 4th, all-time highs. What's not to love about that? I mean, pretty awesome stuff. So that's kind of where we stand now. We are still pretty much a stone's throw away.
I thought, Spencer, with the week that we had, did you know we had some, I don't know, close to momentum thrusts last week? In other words, stuff like regional banks, best week pretty much of the year. I saw some really big moves. So sitting here thinking, with the long holiday weekend, maybe they'll ramp the cryptos. Like you tend to see that in bull markets. The cryptos become like an extension of the risk on action over the weekend because you can't have risk on action in equities when equities markets are closed. So I thought we might be in for a situation like that. And honestly, a little bit disappointed.
You know what?
From the cryptos this
I thought the same thing. I didn't think about it in terms of like bull market extension, but typically during long weekends, you just see crypto during long weekends. Although now that I think about it, we haven't seen that happen. That was a very cliched thing for a few years there. early days, long
Yeah.
weekend, Thanksgiving, whatever, Memorial Day, but it feels like it's been at least a year or more since we've seen crypto really do funny things on a long weekend. So I too was keeping an eye on it, and I too was somewhat disappointed by it.
It's a
But it's
brick
okay.
wall.
It's okay.
For Bitcoin's up against a brick wall at 110. It keeps running up there and testing it, trying to get through. I think you got to watch the alts when stuff like Solana and Ripple finally move out of their little coils, their little tactical bases. I think that's when you finally get that breakout to new all-time highs in Bitcoin. Something like Ethereum too. I mean, Spencer, you could look all the way back to mid-May, same range, really tight. We need to see resolutions from the alts, I think, to support a move in Bitcoin back to new all-time highs. You want to talk about the stock market?
I
One,
do.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight days. I don't think we've seen such a run at the index level. 9 straight up days, 9 consecutive up days for the S&P 500 futures. I don't think we've seen something like that since you would probably have to go back to early 24, 23 maybe. We had a big run off of those August lows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was only about 8. So this is one of the best runs the equity market's seen this entire cycle, and it's broad too, right? All of those lagging groups that we kind of point at and laugh. Brian Lund made a great point yesterday, like, "Hey guys, look at pot stocks," right? I know myself and the analyst team are saying to each other, "Hey guys, look at solar energy," right? So it's one of those markets where the weak stuff is finally starting to participate. You see market internals improve day in and day out. We had a nice risk on tape last week. We had an interest rate sensitive theme kind of playing out. Home builders kind of flaked out to end the week, but biotechs, banks, speculative growth, all really strong. So I think that the market is definitely in the early stages of pricing in rate cuts. And then commodities remain really strong and well bid. Something like copper, nasty morning here, not looking so good today, but closed the week last week right up basically at new all-time highs, just right there. Silver looks ready to go again, but they're all down here this morning. So we'll see what this week kind of brings. Obviously, when it comes to the commodities markets, you got to watch the dollar. And just here this morning, euro's down, pound is down, yen is down, everything's down against the dollar. Dixie getting a little pop here. Let's see what this week brings. But really, from a tactical standpoint, we broke out of these flags like a month ago now, right? Those nice little bull flags that we were talking about. We wrote about the one in ARC that resolved on June 6th. So it's been a full month, really, of follow through from these bullish continuation patterns. Some didn't complete until a couple weeks after. ARC was an early one. So if you look at, say, the indexes, right? QQQ resolved its bull flag, say, June 24th, right? A couple weeks later. But you've already had follow through from those bullish pattern resolutions. I think you've had a good deal of follow through in the best areas. So now, where my head is really at this week, next week, kind of into the end of the summer is give us a corrective wave, right? Some sort of consolidation, some sort of digestive phase, right? We got to digest all of these gains over the past few months. Give me a little corrective wave, something that I can buy back into, right? Reestablish some good tactical entries.
All right.
Into Q.
I mean, so still in get money mode. We talk about Steve
Yeah,
Steve has 2 modes, right? Get money mode, preserve money mode.
keep
Right?
money mode. Yeah.
Keep
No, I
money,
think
keep money mode. Right? It's get and keep. And right now we're still in get. We're getting.
yeah. I think you want to continue to selectively press the gas, but we're not at one of those points now where everywhere I look is a nice coil that's about to pop. We're at a place right now where a lot of those nice coils popped over the course of the last 2, 3, 4 weeks and have followed through nicely. And now we need another little corrective phase, I think, to really kind of reload. So be selective with your entries. There's no reason to kind of pour in here. You will get more coils in the future, more continuation patterns. Those gains will eventually be digested, and it continues to be a pretty orderly uptrend, which is nice. You don't want to see the markets like going vertical out here. You don't want to see all the junky stuff working while the good stuff doesn't work. We're getting a nice mix of action tape every day and a nice orderly uptrend, right? So wait for a higher low to kind of be established and come in and buy that next dip. I think is the most prudent kind of strategy right now.
I was gonna bust your chops for using the cliche to explain what is the orderly market mean, but then you kind of explained it. So
Higher highs and higher lows. Orderly means that there are dips along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the vertical stuff. It's hard. How do you enter vertical vertical trend.
Yeah,
You know?
I keep seeing like stuff like in the in the Reddit forums about like everyone says the market always goes up. No, actually, no, nobody says that. Actually, everyone says the market goes up and down. It's just that sometimes the market goes up more than it goes down, and that's what's happening right now. So, we fully expect the market will go down. Maybe it'll go down today. I don't know.
I was
Right?
saying to somebody last week, we were talking about the daily waves, right? That could hit your account, especially if you're trading short dated options like we are in breakout multiplier, right? The bad days, the red days, when we're positioned bullishly, are going to be really red.
Mm-hmm.
And what it really ends up becoming over time is those good days better come more often and better be better than the bad ones, right? You want more good days, and those good days, say your good day is up 10, then your down day should be down 5, right? The good days should be more frequent and better than the bad days. And that's it.
Yeah.
But you're not going to not have bad days.
And yeah, who mentioned this in the chat? Theo. Shout out to Kenny. The BMNR. I feel like
What the hell is that?
I've said this at least a couple times in the last year, but I feel it is Kenny mentioned this last week, and I feel like I keep every few months I keep saying I've never seen this before. And I don't know if I've seen this before, honestly. I don't know if I've seen this stock go from 3 to 160 in 1 week. But Kenny will be on here in a couple minutes, so we'll talk to Kenny about that when he pops in. But yeah, just there is money to be made. So make it, basically, is what I'm saying.
And slow week on the earnings front. There's really nothing.
Oh, there's nothing. We are in. This is the earnings doldrums. Next week, things will pick up a little bit. And then we're really going to pick up in 2 weeks. But there's really not a lot. The only news today is that we have some more tariff posturing, Trump lobbing some threats over at the BRICS. I haven't heard the BRICS term in a minute, Steve. I don't know. I didn't realize that people still referred to that group together as BRICS, but they do.
China continues to kind of wear all of the news really well. And shout out Vietnam, one of the best countries for your money off of the April lows. Vietnam is breaking out to its highest level since September of 2023. Spencer, it's
that's the Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow, that's wow, $14 on Friday.
I think you buy them all.
$14 today, actually.
I think you buy everything in Southeast Asia.
How's the Grab doing?
Great. Great. They've really turned the corner.
I don't know if I'd say great.
Grab today is like Uber was in early 2023.
And the most you can lose is $5, right?
There you go. There you go. You don't even need the call options.
That's right. That's right. All right. What else is on our minds this morning? Like I said, there really isn't a lot going on on the news front. Yeah, a lot of things about Tesla over the weekend. There's always things about Tesla over the weekend, so it's not like sort of every headline. I know Tesla's down today. What's it down, like 7% or something? But 6% now. On pretty heavy volume. Damn, 7 million shares traded this morning. That's a lot even for Tesla, I feel like. But
so they're all out, and this is just what happens. I know we were talking about like trading the Webull. Now they're out raising money.
Yeah, Webull did. Was it an offering or was it a $1 billion
standby equity agreement? Don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. A $1 billion standby equity agreement. They announced it Thursday. I don't know what that is.
Sandstorm Gold, that's interesting. Acquiring Horizon Copper. And then the Bitcoin miners, you got some movement there. I ran up a little bit. They just put out their monthly update. Coors is giving a lot back. That's something to do with the merger news. I believe. Who is it buying them? Is it CoreWeave buying them? Or am I just thinking that because they're both core? CORZ, somebody's buying them.
CORZ is down 14% this morning.
Yeah, they're going through like a takeover.
Oh, it's an all stock deal with CoreWeave is buying Core Scientific.
Yeah, they like the
right?
core.
Okay, great.
Surprised. I don't know why. Well, something must have happened there, clearly, on that
Well,
deal.
it's an all stock deal, so they're going to move together. So if one goes down, they'll both go down.
Yeah, but CoreWeave isn't. You're not getting what I'm saying. The stock's down 15% this morning.
Right.
IonQ. Yeah, they're all out here raising capital. That's gonna keep happening. MicroStrategy announces 4.2 billion STRD at the money market program. I don't know what any of this means. Anything in my news feed today.
Wait.
Also, what's important, what I am noticing this morning that I think does matter, they're out here trying to talk down rates again. Besson is doing his thing out here this morning. It was working for like a week there, and past couple sessions it stopped working. So rates popping to start the week, despite what some government officials are trying to do out here. I think they got a cut, Spencer. I think a cut is coming. What happens
I
after
don't think
that?
that's what
It's
the
tough for
market.
me.
I don't think that's what the market is saying, right? I haven't looked at Fed Fund futures for a minute, but last I looked at it, it was not. Here, let's pull it up right now.
I think we're gonna get one. Let's check the Fed tracker.
Yeah, let's just check the Fed tracker real fast. I haven't looked at this, like I said, for a hot second, but
I used to watch the Fed Watch tool so closely. It was just one of those things where I realized I don't really know how much this is helping me. 95.
95% chance of no cut.
Yeah.
So
You got to watch the change here. You got to watch.
yeah.
The change.
All right. So we have a meeting in 3 weeks, right? July 30th.
Odds are going up that they won't cut. Like moved like 15% over the trailing week.
All right.
There you go.
So let's set a reminder. Let's check this maybe every few days. Now, right now,
You're
it's 95%.
Spencer. You're getting a cut.
95% no cut in July.
You're gonna get a cut.
Okay. So, well, remind me, Siri. Remind me in 1 week to check.
If they cut, the 30-year will blow out. Oh no. No, it won't.
We'll be fine. Yeah. All right. Oh, you know what else is up this morning? Shout out prison stocks. Shout out Geo Group up 7% volume. This is big beautiful bill related, right? I think.
What are these crooks up to now?
I think this is just a reaction to the bill getting through.
Generac has been good.
We lost Steve's camera.
Shit.
It's okay. We're working through it. He's still here. He's still here. He's just he's hidden behind Steve's behind a paywall. No. Speaking of paywall and extra content, I do want to mention JC is cramming right now. That's why he's not here. Is cramming for his conference calls. So JC does these conference calls for members of AAC Premium. The next conference call is tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to drop the link in chat right now. If you are not a member of All Star Charts Premium, these conference calls are probably the most beloved thing that the All Star Charts members get. We routinely get feedback about how awesome these calls are. A lot of the ideas that are espoused on this show come from the work that is done on these conference calls. So it's twice a month, once at the beginning, once at the middle. Basically, it's just JC ripping through a lot of charts. I think his average is like 120 charts. He'll go for like an hour and just rip through all the charts. He'll go top down. He'll go international. He'll go all different asset classes. Tonight's going to be a special call. I'm not going to say why. But tonight's call is going to be a little bit different. And if you want to know why or how, be there. If you're a member of AAC Premium, you know how. You got an email about it. If you're not a member, use the link that I just put in the chat. I will pin it to the top of the chat right now. There it is. There's the link to join All Star Charts Premium and get JC's conference call tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and every replay, the full archives. There we go. Are we good?
Cool, right? Dual camera setup.
Oh, that's pretty nice keyboard. That's pretty nifty.
Yeah. All right, you can hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you. I mean, we're working through it. We're working through it. I have this huge sign that I can't quite get positioned well. You've got a new office, so we're working through it this morning. It's one of those mornings.
Yeah. All right. Great.
Cool. All right. Conference call. I talked about that. Kenny. Let's talk about Kenny for a second. So Kenny is going live, as I mentioned, for free, starting right after this show ends today. So we'll end the show at 9:25. Kenny's room will be open. If you want to get into Kenny's room for free, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. I'm going to put the link up on the screen right now, and I will put it in the chat. There is the link on the screen. There's the link in the chat. You will, if you go to that link, you enter your email, you'll get an automatic email with the watch link for the videos this week. Kenny's here right now. Actually, he's in our studio. So let's bring him on, and let's talk about what Kenny is going to talk about. Pretty meta.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tug it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Boom. What's going on, Kenny?
What's up? How you feeling?
I feel great. I had a great long weekend. How was your July 4th, man? Go eat some hot dogs, do some fireworks.
We did the cornhole tournament, and it's a long story, but I came in second. So it went on forever and ever and ever. We were drinking from 4 to about midnight, and it seemed like we played cornhole for 8 straight hours too. I don't know what exactly, but
cornhole's fun for like an hour.
Yeah,
right? Well, and then it's not fun anymore.
we had some money on the line, so it gets a little frisky. It's so funny. Everyone's drinking. Everybody put in $20, so we had a pool of $200. Winner take all, and we had rules and round robin. And when one guy had a bye, and then it got messy at the end there.
Yeah.
But suffice it to say, I came in second. So
all right, well, nice job for you. We're not talking cornhole here. We're talking trading. You, as I mentioned, are going live. Your open house starts today, right after this show ends. The link is on screen and in chat. What are we gonna trade today, Kenny? That's the question.
Listen, if you're, you might be as shocked as I am. There's red on the screen.
Please!
I've been doing this for 30 years.
We're down 1/3%.
Well, let me finish my thought here. There's some red on the screen. It won't be red by the end of the day. Maybe not even by 9:33. Yeah. So, generally in a bull market, which we're always in, a perpetual bull market, usually holiday shortened weekends are holiday shortened weeks are bullish, and the day we get back from that holiday is usually bullish too. So normally we see a gap and go today. So I'm kind of excited that we're actually seeing some red on tariff news. Is that what it is? Funny. I didn't know we cared about that anymore. But I'm going to just sit and wait for the bull to arrive, and it'll be a VWAP break on the Qs, and I'm sure it'll be along with Tesla as well. So Tesla, the Qs, I'm going to be looking at that. But we held some overnights. And, again, this is why I don't hold overnights. You just never know what's going to happen. We came in long some Myrna. You guys see this stock last week? mRNA. It actually reacted well to some news, and we held it over the weekend. It's basically where we bought it. We also held Bull, which is kind of upsetting that they did an offering Thursday afternoon. It's very diabolical when you put out bad news on a Thursday afternoon on a holiday shortened day. So that doesn't look so hot. But I'm looking at that one for a dip buy today. We'll see what holds at 1250. But really, more importantly, is this market. We hit all-time highs on Thursday, and it was glorious. The solar stocks finally broke out. Thank you, Sedge, my Sedge followers who got paid. We waited 2 years for this trade to arrive on Thursday, and it was fan-freaking-tastic. So, I held a little of that as well, and that's where we're at, right? So, we got to work through some positions this morning, and then we're going to get right back into what we do best is just find some winners for the day.
All right, so basically you're gonna get the chance to actually trade alongside with Kenny, which is something that only is reserved for people in his room this week. So that's exciting, Kenny. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and you'll be live. I know you do your noon show, so you'll be live really all morning, pretty much, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So
I rested up yesterday, so I got out of the. Yesterday was the hangover day, so today I'm a little fresher, so ready to rock. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is, again, you're just gonna get a glimpse on what we do in the room. It's basically a trading desk. I'm the head trader and just spitting out ideas all day and trying to explain why we like them and where we think they're going and how to trade. And it's really just if you haven't day traded, this is it. This is the way. And I've been doing it for 30 years. VWAP has really just changed the way that I even look at the market. And it really is fascinating. And that's why it's still exciting for me after doing this for 30 years, seeing something every day that excites me. I'm lucky. I'm lucky to be this excited every day. So it'd be nice to see some new friends. And don't forget to ask questions in the room. So
all right, Kenny, his room's going live in about a half hour. It'll be live before the open. I promise you that. So Kenny, we'll see you there. And everyone, you use the link on the screen or the link in the chat. And we'll see you there, Kenny.
All right. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you in the room.
All right. You know what's cool about doing this open house right now is that Kenny, obviously, like you see, uses VWAP. He pretty much works in any environment, but it's especially good in an environment like this where the animal spirits are raging, right? So it's a really good time for Kenny. Speaking of animal spirits, Steve Strazza. Speaking of animal spirits,
look at that.
Should we bring on
what?
Should we bring on the co-host of the Animal Spirits show?
Oh,
which
I see what you did there.
I was listening. I was listening to yesterday. Confession: I don't always catch. Sometimes I'm a few weeks behind, right? And I have to like binge to catch up. So I was binging to catch up yesterday. I was listening to the episode from 2 weeks ago, I think. And Michael gave a shout out to our very own Grant Hawkridge on the show.
No kidding. Yeah, they're too good to us. They're always talking about our charts. Bring them out.
Bring them out. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Mike.
Good morning.
How are you, man?
What's up?
I'm good. Nothing makes me more happy than shining a spotlight on some of my friends. And I don't know Grant, but I know you guys, and I love Grant's charts. And anytime I get the chance to throw somebody some flowers, as a kid say, I love to do it.
But how good are Grant's visuals? I tell him all the time. I said, bro, you have the best visuals.
Yeah, they're really remarkably good.
Yeah. No, he's awesome. You'll meet Grant. And I was just going to echo Spencer's sentiment. I find myself listening to a lot less podcasts than I used to. But when I play catch up, Animal Spirits is always the first one I hit. And the best part is, what do you guys call it when you spend like 5 minutes at the end? You don't call it recess.
We don't have there's no segment name. I mean, in the doc it says recommendations, but
recommendations, right?
Because Mike has the best movie recommendations. Have you been watching any of these? We tried Sinners this weekend. I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep. I did not see the back half of it.
So I saw Sinners opening night because it was very hyped, and I don't want to throw shade because I love that it exists, that like we're getting new original movies.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. I had a great time, but it's not like a 97% great time. Like it's not a generational movie, which is but listen, I don't want to nitpick more movies like that.
That's what people are saying, right? It's been very warmly kind of
you know why?
Yeah.
Because this week we had Jurassic, which sucked ass, embarrassment.
Really?
Mission Impossible. We have Superman. We have Fantastic Four coming up. So with all of the retreads and all of the sames, having something new, even if it's like not the most mind-boggling movie, we need it, you know?
All right.
It's not a good risk reward for these movie makers, right? New content.
No. So, all right, we're not here to talk movies. We're here to talk stocks. Let's do it.
I heard ESPN's launching a new streaming service.
No, that's not even new news. No, Steve, I know we have some charts. Yeah, Fonz, can we bring up some charts? I know that
let's get away from movies. Pull up the IMAX chart. No, we did. We brought some charts because one of the things that's happened, we talk about it all the time on here, but the coolest thing that's happened since we launched Breakout Multiplier is I get to talk with my friends more about trading. And Mike will text me and talk about how he's putting on trades. I have another, really good dear friend who's like figuring out how to trade options from scratch using breakout multiplier. He'll text me like every other day about the trades he's putting on. And we're all talking about it. Even JC is getting involved. So like that's been the coolest part. And Mike and I have exchanged some text talking about, different, I guess, positions that he's put on some of the breakout multiplier calls. I said, you got to come on the show and talk about them.
So
you got enough emails. One day you said, fuck it, I'm just going to try one of these.
I think the first one that I put on was Celsius.
Yeah.
Not a company that I am super familiar with in terms of like the fundamentals. I'm not a consumer, although I did buy 2 recently just to check it out. And I don't really care about the fundamentals of this company because it's all in the price and the price is working. So I'm running it.
I can't drink this shit. I've never been like a big Red Bull person. I can't drink energy drinks that make me want to throw up. But I see this base, I want to buy it all day.
Yeah.
And this base, it looks similar, Mike, to other bases that we've seen kind of resolve higher over the course of the past few months. This reminds me of the dollar stores.
Yes, I was going to say that. Yep.
So we look at this VWAP, get a little confirmation. Basically, what you have here is a tactical base, and we're coming up out of it. And where you have the blue range lines drawn, it's just a little continuation pattern, a little range right at the upper bounds, chopping around the breakout level of the base. So we come in, we get long calls. This one worked. So sugar water for the win. Honestly, Pepsi was all coiled up the other day. Some of these staple stocks are looking better and better.
I think it's important when you're talking about trading to zoom out a little bit and talk about the environment that we're in. And clearly, this is a rip-roaring bull market. Yeah. It is expanding in breadth. You're seeing more participation. I saw Kevin Gordon tweet this morning, 7% of the Russell 3000 are at a 52-week high. That's the highest of the year. And a younger version of myself would have just been very quick to take profits because we all know that profits are hard to come by, right? Like I think it is a very, very standard practice for people to add to their losers, to take profits, which is obviously the opposite of what you're supposed to do. And bull markets are money-making time. You can't be afraid to make money. And if you are too quick to take profits, and I know like zooming out, it's been like a V-shaped, like I got very lucky buying NVIDIA and CrowdStrike at the lowest. So that's like sort of a different story. But just in the overall context of where we are, you are seeing more participation where you want to see participation. I know JC was on financials over the weekend. You are seeing everything that you want to see in a bull market. And it doesn't mean that it's going to last forever or that we're going to go up every single day. In fact, you should expect a pullback eventually, but you can't be afraid to make money in a bull market.
I think that's sage advice. In fact, I think the worst mistake that most people can make in a bull market is selling too soon, because bull markets have this phenomenal way of like kind of fixing your mistakes for you. You entered too soon. Maybe you jumped an entry. You bought the wrong pattern, right? Bull markets tend to fix a lot of those bad behaviors for you. What it's never going to fix is if you sell too soon, don't let your winners run.
Yeah. Yeah.
So time to press the gas. And Celsius reminds me of one of these, like, wouldn't you say if there was an ARC stock in the staples sector, wouldn't it be Celsius, guys?
That's a good way to put it.
There are others. There are others.
Growthy, though.
Yeah. Sure. Monster.
What Monster's done over the years. I'm just saying. Maybe something there. All right. Mike, why do you only buy the boring ones?
So I don't buy anything that has like crazy vol other than I guess holding some crypto. I don't own, the only sub $5 billion stock I own, I think is IMAX, but I'm not on like any of the Eric Jackson trades. I ran and another one that he keeps tweeting about. I'm not sure what those are.
You don't like the Bitcoin miners.
I'm not in the cloud in the quantum stuff, the rigatoni and the other ones, IO and Q. I don't know. You can't own everything.
From what I understand, the quantum stocks are all zeros.
Maybe eventually, not right now. Michael, where do you draw the line as far as like junkiness goes?
I don't own. I'm just trying to make sure that this is right before I say this. I don't think I own anything that is like a hyper speculative business that doesn't already have like a strong brand name recognition, solid business. I don't have time for that. That's like that's not my thing.
Even for a trade though, Mike, right? You want it to be like a name that you recognize and know.
You know why? Because for the most part, if any of these trades that I'm putting on are in clear uptrends, and we should be so lucky to get a pullback. I'm very comfortable adding on a pullback to names that I feel confident in. If it's a name that goes down 13% that I don't know what it does, I will panic sell, and that happens all the time with those names, only to shake out the weak hands and then jam it up your you-know-what and rocket 30% higher. Like, I have no interest in that.
Do you think we're in the middle of some sort of prolonged cycle? You and Ben were joking on the show the other day, like, are we ever going to have another recession?
Yeah.
Things are pretty good out here.
I mean, listen, I'm not an idiot. I very much believe that, like, there are cycles. I do think that the cycles of today look very different than the boom bust cycles that people are used to talking about, given the nature of how everything is digital and how quickly companies can adjust and how there's not backlogs of inventory that builds and then needs to be depleted like that. It's just, we live in a different world. So it's not to say, I would never say that recessions are extinct. That's the dumbest thing ever.
Just abbreviated.
Yeah, they're just different.
They're faster.
Just think about 2022. That was a real recession, a real slowdown. And companies got religion real fast, and they said, okay, we need to pay attention to our bottom line. Here's what we're going to do. I think Uber led the charge there. And they just are better managed. So are we in a prolonged cycle? If ChatGPT did not launch in November 2022, I do think we would have had a recession. And I do think that the stock bear market would have been worse than it was. I really do think, like, we joked at the time, tongue in cheek, that AI saved us. And now it's not a joke anymore. I really believe that to be the case. And you see what these hyperscalers are spending on supporting the bull market. I don't want to fight that. I don't know. I mean, there is an expiration date at some point in the future. Maybe it's tomorrow or in 5 years from now. But while there is the wind at our backs, you have to make money. You just have to make money. You can't not make money in a bull market. Investing and trading is difficult enough with all of the distractions and the noise, and God knows there's plenty of that. You have to take advantage of these times.
Yep. Love it. Where are you guys at on crypto? And, like, what do you do at Ritholtz if somebody wants some Bitcoin exposure?
Yeah, so we will buy it for them. It is not a part of our model portfolio because there are a lot of, I don't want to convince anybody to own crypto. If somebody asks me about it, I give them my opinion.
Sure.
So I personally have a much larger percentage of my net worth in crypto than I probably should. But I'm comfortable with that.
So what will you do for clients? Just IBIT, right?
For the most part, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's the greatest innovation.
And now they got the ETH, right? And I guess Solana's coming, so that's great. More options.
Yeah.
Michael,
you guys talk about how there's, you mentioned so much noise out there, so many signals, so many data points. How do you follow and pay attention to all of that, but also walk the line of not letting it just totally overwhelm you? Sam writes about the cross currents, and there's this direction and that direction, and it doesn't make any sense. And so, like, how do you follow it without getting overwhelmed?
Practice.
Okay, good answer.
I feel we all feel the same emotions, right? Like, we're all fearful when others are fearful. I think that when there is, like, my personal mantra for investing trading is that when the VIX hits 50, like, I just have to buy. I don't care what's happening, how bad it seems. I don't care if I'm early. When there is panic, like real panic, like we saw in April, I buy. Yep. So now, like, okay, well, then when you get the bounce, like, what do you do then? That's maybe a different story. But what do I like? What's my North Star? What do I pay attention to not be distracted by the noise? It's really earnings, and not that is a leading indicator, because obviously we find them out 4 times a year and they're backwards looking. Yeah. But so long as earnings are going up and to the right, so long as they're being supported by the Amazon and Microsoft spend of the world, which I'd much rather rely on than the consumers, we're going to be just fine. Yep. And eventually that will slow or stall or take a back step, and then we'll go from there. But, like, that's it. This is not rocket science. We're investing in businesses, and when earnings are expanding and margins are making all-time highs, guess what? The stocks are going to follow.
Yeah, and I think some of these tech earnings in the future, it's just getting started. Earnings are strong right now, but some of these tech earnings, now that AI is really getting going, I think are going to blow people's minds, just like NVIDIA did 2 years ago.
I think I was talking with Fami over last week about this. Mm-hmm. You have to keep an open mind. We all have opinions, right? Like, we all have opinions about what's going to happen, what should happen. You have to keep an open mind to the fact that, yeah, we might be long in the tooth. Or this might be the third inning. Like you might say that Nvidia at 4 trillion looked cheap. Who knows?
So a lot of these guys, and there are some tremendously smart people, big hedge fund managers out here saying this is some sort of like super boom cycle that is going to be fueled by AI, and look out, like you guys don't even understand what's going to happen to earnings and profit margins and all that. Are you one of those people? Like, I'm so open-minded to that. I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe that sounds great. Let's see it.
I don't have like a strong opinion because I'm not like a technologist. Like, how the frick do I know?
Right.
But when I hear that, I don't think like, oh, bubble. Like
Right.
these are not dumb people. And if your knee-jerk reaction is to fade everything always, and that's probably like a young person's attitude, right? Like, I'm smart. You're not smarter than the market. I'm sorry. The market is right. You're wrong. And it doesn't mean that the price is always getting it right. But let's just say that way more often than not, it gets it right. Sometimes it gets it terribly wrong. Obviously, sometimes things change, and in hindsight, it appeared to be wrong. But I defer to the market. And when people say that this is going to do extraordinary things to the world and to earnings and to margins, I'm open-minded to it. Sure, why not?
Do you have a lot of conversations with clients who are just lamenting that this doesn't make sense? How are we at all-time highs?
Oh,
there's
all the
war,
time.
there's war, and there's tariffs, and there's this, and I don't understand.
Like, how about right now? Like where's your head at on sentiment? You're talking to a lot of people. You're consuming a lot of content and research. Yeah, what are people saying? What do you think about sentiment?
All right, sentiment, like how I think about sentiment, how I know you guys have like composites that you're actually quantifying it. So I would very much take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. I would defer to you guys.
I don't know if we could trust our data either.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm up in the air.
I would say that if you look at price, if you look at some of the speculation in some of the memeier memes, it seems like we're ripe for a pullback, but I just don't get distracted by that. All right, so we fall 5%. Who gives a shit? Like, you know what I mean? We just went up 27% off the lows, rocketed. But in terms of like clients, friends, whatever, asking me about like what they should buy, like I'm hearing zero of that.
Really?
That's good, right?
Yeah.
That means there's more room to run.
Yes, but also like I don't, my friends and family members, like they're not traders, like, so it would be kind of weird that they would ask me about it. So that's why I would defer to you guys.
And how about politics? Are people over the political stuff? Are they over the election stuff? That takes
Are they
a little.
over it? I don't know. People are never over politics on every side, obviously. I will say that for people that were scared in April, they were very scared.
Yep.
Because they felt like their worst fears were coming true right in front of their eyes.
Yeah.
And for the people that sold that lower, that vicinity, I don't know what to say to them now. And this is not to beat anyone's chest. This shit is hard. You really, and maybe it's a good lesson on just what your true risk tolerance is. I think people have a tendency to overestimate how much risk they can take in a bull market and then maybe forget the fact that bear markets come with news. Stocks don't just fall 20% down for no reason. There's always something. So whether it's politics or geopolitics or earnings or whatever, those experiences, you can't go backwards. They're always a good time to recalibrate what you're doing. How much risk are you comfortable taking? What sort of returns do you need from your portfolio? Yeah. And, what's done is done, but hopefully they can use it as a lesson going forward.
I remember talking to, go ahead, Steve.
If you have clients like DCAing into a retirement account, will you guys encourage them to like contribute more in the time?
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Times like this, say, go for it, right?
Yeah. So we had an all hands on deck meeting to like talk about that, because I know a lot of our advisors get very aggressive in times like that, making sure that if we have a plan that we're putting more cash to work. Unfortunately, the bounce was so fast, and when bounces like that happen so fast, you feel you get a little bit paralyzed, because it's like, oh my god, on Monday we could have bought 15% lower on Monday, and then by Thursday it's like, well now what? So having a plan ahead of time is great, and then like reacting to the extent that you can, it's tough, because these bounces, the V-shaped recoveries are just more and more happening.
How surprised were you that we didn't get any semblance of a retest whatsoever?
It was like COVID all over again. There was the retest that never came. You never even got any sort of corrective wave. It was just straight line higher.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. Forget about the retest. There was not even a re-sniff. It wasn't even close. It just went straight up, and it might have gone sideways for a day or two, but it just kept going higher. Well, I was surprised. Like, maybe 3 weeks into the bounce, I was like, should I just like I should probably sell them up like 30% of these positions, and then I slapped my hand a few times, and I was surprised. I still am surprised. I'm not going to act like I wasn't surprised because in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me that given the sentiment shift, given that people are going to be impacted in ways that we probably don't know about, given that there will be tariffs and blah, 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 you're telling me that like we're no worse off than we were before this. And I don't know. I guess that's what the market is saying. Like, wake me up in 2 years, but that's what the market's saying for now.
And I think it's less about that. You alluded to it earlier. It's the speed of these cycles, right? Like the rise of technology. This is all happening faster. And nobody mentions this, but 3 times in recent history, really, if you go back and study the recovery off of the late 2018 bear market, early 2019 was very much like a V2. So we just keep on seeing like these rapid recoveries out of bear market.
Navarro's on screen. How much are we down? What's going on?
They're coming out. They're trying to pump the market, but it's not working.
No, he's not the pump guy. But Steve, you're right. So I think the lesson that we keep learning is that so long as these tech companies, and we heard it from Microsoft and Amazon, we heard affirmation of that they were going to keep spending. So long as that underpins the market, there is nothing. Everything else is noise. That's it. It's the only thing that matters right now.
You think they're going to cut this month?
No.
Next
there
time.
We go.
Next one, what, September then?
September.
Well,
that's what the market is saying, right? That's what the market's saying.
95%. We just checked it.
Yeah,
fresh numbers.
Yeah. So no, they're not gonna surprise the market. That's not what they do.
Okay.
Awesome. Michael Batnick, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We appreciate it. We always love having you on. Big fan of your shows, actually, plural.
All the shows, all the best shows.
Yeah.
Thank you. You guys are the best. Happy to come back anytime. Always love talking with you, and let's make some money.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Always such a pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to ask how many wins for the Giants this year?
What's the over under? Over under would be like what? 6, 7? I don't know.
Probably 6.
I don't know. 6.5.
It's not going to be a playoff year.
No.
I don't know. We got a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right, Spencer, what do you want to do? Because there's nothing to talk about. Yeah, I can't look at this guy.
Wait, I did want to mention it real fast because you guys were talking about the breakout multiplier stuff. If you're not in breakout multiplier, Steve was running a July 4th offer, right? And that offer ends. That offer ends today. It's not July 4th anymore. So the offer ends today. I am dropping the link in the chat right now. This offer ends at like midnight tonight or something along those lines. It ends tonight. That's all I know. So
did you have a good 4th of July, Spencer?
I did. My parents have a pool, but they weren't home, so I got to go to their pool and enjoy the pool without
nice.
them. So it was the best of both worlds. Actually, it was the pool
party
without the parents. So that was pretty great.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Perfect setup for the 4th of July. Weather was good up there.
Weather was gorgeous. It's going to rain every day for the next 10 days, but that's okay. We had a great July 4th weekend. It was freaking awesome up here. How was yours?
I think the 4th of July is the best holiday when you live where Spencer does. Like that area, dude, that's the best holiday there is. Think about it. Over the years, 4th of July, barbecues, the weather's good. Every other big holiday is fucking cold and nasty.
It's never been my favorite holiday.
Good holiday.
But
holiday.
It is a good holiday. So anyway, breakout multiplier, July 4th offer, 6-month membership ends today, or the offer for this membership ends today. So use that link in the chat that I just dropped in there. And if you are not in the chat or can't see the chat or whatever, and you want to email Steve to get in, I will put our email up on the screen. Where's our email?
We have so much fun. Well, really, I'm not kidding. We're just texting about it all day. That's the best part. That's the best thing. I'm proud of our performance and our results and all that stuff. It's been a lot of fun, but just talking to everybody about the trades throughout the day, really the best.
Yep.
So we put out a trade on FISO, embarrassed my buddy, months ago, and he was still figuring out options. Spencer bought like $50,000 worth of Pfizer common stock.
Why did you do that? Oh, he didn't know. He didn't know that an option is 100 shares. Okay.
I don't know. He just bought a ton of common stock. I'm like, no, that's not what we're doing here. Very different. What are you doing? So he's sitting there today, Spencer. He still has it, and he's bragging about his 7.5% dividend. It's so good.
No,
It's really good.
no.
Yeah, and I don't hate it because I like Pfizer a lot right now.
How is that Pfizer doing? Let's take a quick look. No. I'm bored. I'm bored. I looked at that chart for 5 seconds and I'm bored.
But Nike, a lot of these banged up great American brands, right? If you catch them, I'm sniffing around UNH right now. You've seen UNH? This is United Healthcare. These stocks, right? A lot of companies that, experience 50% drawdowns, when you go down the cap scale, eventually go to zero. But if you take the biggest companies in the world and you check out when they experience above average drawdowns, 30, 40, 50% drawdowns, they usually don't go to zero. So what that means is that there's a price for them. There was a price for 3M last year. There's a price for Disney, right? There was a price for Nike. There's going to be a price for Pfizer. There's going to be a price for Target, right? All of these battered blue chips, I think you just got to watch them, find a spot to buy them, watch the primary trend, right? And try to spot that reversal. Some of these stocks, they get really, really cheap. And they're great American brands. Pfizer's in that category.
It's so true. To Michael's point, if there's a real business, if there's a there, I'm just thinking all just the list of companies in my head: UNH, CrowdStrike, Caterpillar, Netflix, Meta, Amazon, right? Way back in the day. So many companies come to mind that experienced huge drawdowns, but they had a real business. And those drawdowns ended up being massive opportunities, right? Yeah. I always think back to, that CrowdStrike thing from last summer, right? Was like the easiest example. In hindsight, it's not easy in the moment, but in hindsight, yeah, right.
Obviously. The list is so long. We could just go back the past year or 2 years, right? And it's a long ass list. I honestly think this is like a viable long-term investing strategy to just stalk the mega caps, right? And shop the deals.
Now, there are some exceptions. Boeing hasn't come back yet. It's been a long time, right?
There's going to be those cases.
Yep.
But they're going to be fewer and far between than the ones that do bounce back in a big way. Shop the deals when it comes to the mega cap. Shop the deals.
And we're talking crashes. We're not talking like 3-4 year long downtrends. We're talking
Nike's a great example.
We're talking short term.
Nike chart.
We're talking crashes.
Disney, right? Something that's really fallen out of favor. The tech ones you got to be a little quicker with. Dude, you can't bet against big cap US tech. These stocks are it's crazy. It's really crazy. Something like Apple right now, maybe on sale.
Dude, many? Apple,
maybe on sale.
Apple underperforming like it is. Same with Apple. Someone just mentioned Berkshire. Apple and Berkshire together, right? I mean, that's the Warren Buffett trade.
I'm so bullish, banks. Do we have my chart? I think regional banks right now, it's crazy how good they are. I think regional banks. Do we have the one showing the divergence?
Yeah, but aren't they so idiosyncratic? Don't you have to play them individually? Like you have to,
No, actually no. It's one of those groups where like they're gonna do the same shit. You could buy the one with the highest beta. But no, regional banks, they're almost all going to look the same. You have like these strange situations where you buy like a Texas one that has too much exposure to oil and gas or something like that. Or you go out to California. Don't buy the West Coast banks. Never buy the West Coast banks.
Help me out with the Truist ticker.
TFC. So that's the old SunTrust. And I'm actually in the market, Spencer. I need a bank with a branch. I know, I'm so old. I need a physical location I could go to.
Last year, dude. Yeah.
And yell at somebody when things don't work.
I know.
Need an actual branch. And
it's great to have. It's great to have a bank without branches, but then once in a while you need someone.
You gotta go.
You gotta go.
You gotta go sometimes.
I know.
And I'm there right now, and I gotta go, and I need a local spot. And there's these SunTrust. Well, they're Truists now.
They're all over the southeast.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're all over. So
we'll see. And then also just in other news, I guess we're doing recess. Speaking of Apple, I bought my first big Apple product in I don't know how long. I don't think I've actually ever bought a MacBook, but I see these guys when we travel. I see these guys at like Portfolio Accelerator, and they got these tiny laptops. They're so small they could like put them in their back pocket. My machine is, Spencer, I swear to God, it's so big it breaks my back just lugging it around the airport. Mm-hmm. My power like charger is like a dumbbell. It weighs 15 pounds. Right. So I bought a nice little MacBook Air, sky blue. The tiny one, just to write on. That's
Okay,
all.
good.
You know what I mean?
I'm probably overdue for some tech upgrades. My phone and a laptop are both pre-COVID, so
I'm gonna try it, and I hope I'm not too old to figure out how to use the Apple computers.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. All right, since we're doing recess, shout out real quick to the baby Brezza. This is basically it's a Keurig machine. It's a Keurig for bottles and formula. And everyone's like, I didn't think I needed this, and then I got it, and it changed my life. And I am exactly feeling the same way. Didn't think I needed it, got it as a gift, changed my life. Bought one bottle in 10 seconds. Right? So shout out to Baby Brezza and your Keurig machine for babies because
nice.
Chef's kiss.
Just plug the bottle right in.
Just put the bottle in, press the button, boom, done. Wow. 10 seconds.
Technology.
It's amazing.
Technology.
It's not cheap. I was glad to not have to pay for it. That was nice. But anyway, okay, we got to go. Kenny's going live in his room. Let's drop the link one more time in chat. There it is, and it's also pinned to the top of the chat. Let's throw it on the screen one more time. There it is. He'll be live in that room today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, pretty much all morning, right? So check it out. We'll see you there. Go make some money, and thank you, Michael Batnick. Thank you, Steve.
The best.
Thank you, chat. As always, good stuff.
I have a really good feeling about this week.
Ooh.
Just gonna throw it out there.
Good.
Really good feeling
Right.
about the whole week.
Adios, guys.
Feels like a good one.
It's gonna be a good week.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss.